So let's see it. Let's see. Could you please? Changes in because it's quite different from the tropical world. In the tropical world, it's towards downstream we have more water always, and then I could find a basin that towards downstream we have slightly less water. But this is data I could get. 41 data from official statistical center of Syria, one year by year, and then I could put the main dam constructions in the graph. Well, everyone say Atatürk dam could diminish a lot. But if you see, Atatürk dam was concluded in 1998, 92. The flow was low before. I couldn't imagine that they will start filling the reservoir before the dam is constructed. And besides, we have to consider that after the lowering, the river always recovered the flow and maybe much higher than before. This is the case. This is the case just after. This is the case of the Keban Dam also. Oh, the same thing. Keban Dam is from 1975. And it was already lowering flow. So we can't relate the flow automatically with dams. Obviously, when the dam is filling, we have a lowering flow. But it recovers afterwards because it has a limit. You can't, you are an engineer, we can't overtake this limit. And we can, well, I did a very strict and detailed analysis of this in the text. I won't say everything about that.
Does it exclude this correction made for the evaporation?
No, I analyzed
this. If it is despite the evaporation, then it means that the flow or the precipitation grew up otherwise.
No, actually, I have the numbers here. This 5 years, it's a little bit lower. It's equivalent, but lower. We are not, here we did just a statistical analysis of the theory, not talking about the reasons. So if we have an equivalence before and after, well, it's an evidence that nothing much significant happened with the river in this river period. Because we have to consider also that a dam, it's built once. And once it's built, it's stopped. And the river flows.
If you include the temperature variations year on year,
another variable.
Yeah, another variable. Do you think the outcome would change? Maybe some years the temperature is much higher than the others, than the previous one.
No, more than that. More than that, we could say we could see that temperatures in Turkey is lower and then a little bit higher in Syria, and much higher in Iraq. That's the main system. We can't change that. Maybe we will have anomalies, but it's not an anomaly that will explain 40 years. You understand that? And to analyze 40 years, you have to analyze what is normal in climate. What is normal? Increasing temperatures, increasing evaporation, diminution of precipitation, diminution of tributaries, This is the system that works from upstream to downstream always. And moreover, the basin is regulated by forces much bigger than the basin, because Euphrates River basin is we call in Portuguese a regime nival. It's a regime led by water and snow. And having the snow or not having the snow, it's a matter of a much bigger context, climate context. So we can't define the basin here and study only the basin. It's everything is explained by things inside because of the snow. The snow is a climate much wider issue.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's clear that if there is no dam, or if there is no dam construction or completion of dam during that period, of course, water will not diminish, water flow. But how about the operation? I mean, maybe we will take into account the operation here.
I understand your question.
Because
I understand.
if you look at the case, Keban Dam has very large amount of reservoir, about 25 billion cubic meter, at least 15 billion cubic meter active storage. So, could it be the reason the operating rules and regulations which is done by Turkey this period, during this period, maybe your research needs to be added the level of the reservoir during that period. If you compare, the level of the reservoir is almost the same. I mean, we couldn't get any more water from the nature, from the river, and they storage it, and they give the less water to the downstream. Maybe we can think it over.
Yes. Would you please come back to the series?
Just only to clear the subject.
Yes. Back one more, please. One more. Yes, I discussed that with some hydrologics in Brazil, and they said, well, but this data of Iraq, comparing Syria and Iraq, all control of water releasing or blocking, it's upstream this stretch. So between this point and this point, we have no control of water. But all control Turkey could make, releasing more water or blocking more water, it's upstream these 2 points I'm analyzing. So what's happening here have to be explained by other